Howdy, welcome back. I'm Steven, and this is FWP Reviews. Today is part 1 of the Michael Mann May movie special. This is the first episode of a 2-part series that I will be releasing over this week and next week. This week will center around the epic crime saga directed by Michael Mann, Heat. Next week I will take a look at Collateral, also directed by Michael Mann. Hence the name. I will be treating these 2 episodes as FWP essential episodes because essentially I would consider all of these essential, but they pair really well together, so why not make an event out of it? It's May and the summer heat is right around the corner, so when could be a better time to look at Heat than now? To me, Heat is the definitive crime saga movie. I love The Godfather and The Godfather 2 and all the other classic crime saga movies, but my first love and my enduring favorite of this genre is definitely Heat. In this movie, we see master criminal Neil McCauley, played by Robert De Niro, planning one last heist before retirement. Meanwhile, we see Lieutenant Hannah, played by Al Pacino, trying to track down McCauley while dealing with the chaos of his own life. McCauley and Hannah are able to develop a mutual respect as they try to thwart each other's plans. The rivalry in this movie is possibly the best ever put to screen. Without further ado, I present part 1, Heat. I think the easiest way to start is to take a look at the world-class filmmaking available in this movie. The 3-hour runtime can feel a little long, but the thriller/slow burner elements combined with the exciting heist helps keep the viewer engaged almost all the way through. It was really intriguing and effective to see how methodical the filmmaking is in this movie, and it runs parallel really well to how methodical both our cop and criminal in this movie are. The style in this movie is quite similar to neo-noir style, and it's really well done. It works to show us how Michael Mann is able to almost perfectly capture the atmosphere of LA, much like this supreme style combined with the extremely impressive chess game that is the plot makes this movie incredibly engaging. This movie is in constant motion, whether it's a person or an event that's going on. However, this busyness doesn't clog out the movie because it's really well woven and thought out. This constant motion doesn't equate to constant action though. It's quite something to see how this movie can keep you tense, excited, and on edge, even though a lot of it is slow planning and character interactions. It actively captures how the cop and criminals are both living in chaos. Whether or not they're living through their mundane, everyday things, there's always something that is pushing them and creating more chaos for them. And we actually get to see how this applies when they're not in the heat of the fight. This movie manages to make the slow moments valuable, but that never sacrifices the quality of the action. The action set pieces and gunfights are all extremely well thought out and done, and they're some of the best from this genre of movie in the 90s, and they still hold up extremely well today. Far and above, the strongest part of this movie is the rivalry we see on screen, and that is thanks a lot to the great writing and performances. Michael Mann's great work on the screenplay allows this sort of undying rivalry between Pacino and De Niro's character. The way we see that respect for each other building before their first face down when it's not actually face to face and their actual sit down at the coffee shop. The scene where they first face down when they're not really facing each other down just gives me chills because it's so impressive to see how they just stare right through each other even though they don't even know that the other is there. Their sit down and face-to-face dinner is something that this movie is extremely well known for. It allows for these profound and effective character moments to happen in a way that's extremely unorthodox. It allows them to verbally reflect on each other's actions and share their respect for each other. They play a lot of cat and mouse in between then and the end of the movie, and it ends in this ultimate airport finale. This is the perfect case of unstoppable force meets a movable object, and it's just a matter of who's gonna budge because you know the movie will have somebody win. And in the airport finale, it does a good job of never letting you really know who's gonna win until they've won. One had to give, and they do a good, satisfying job of showing that. Additionally, the dialogue in many of the other scenes is biting and poignant throughout. The now iconic "if you feel the heat right around the corner" line is something that makes this movie tick, and it runs at the heart of the thematic and narrative elements of the movie in almost a picture-perfect way. The most effective themes we see in this movie are the ones that have to do with loneliness. The loneliness we see the main cop and the main criminal face throughout is what runs at the beating heart of this movie. It is a testament to human behavior and dedication. The path one is on is hard to alter even if you're emotionally or literally unavailable. we see De Niro's character finally open up and get emotionally attached, and that's when things start to fall apart. The loneliness finally catches up with him. We get to see how lonely he really is despite not actually seeing a lot of his history, just seeing him and how he carries himself through this criminal world he's in. Then the blur of the moment, he lets his guard drop, and that's when things start to go wrong, and it's really profound in a sort of movie kind of way. In the end, this relationship comes full circle to the "if you feel the heat right around the corner" line. You think for a while that he would give it up and go to prison just to be with this girl, but alas. And in the end, De Niro's character was willing to walk away, and there's something poetic and really effective about what the movie does with that. He manages to leave it behind despite it being one of the only sources of joy we see him have throughout the entire movie. Universally hailed as one of the best movies of the 90s, as well as one of the best thriller crime movies ever made, why would it not be essential? Alas, if my job were that easy, I could do it with my eyes closed and my hands tied behind my back. I think for many reasons this movie is essential. The complexity and style are at the forefront of this. This story is complex and always in motion in a sort of methodical way. The previously mentioned methodical writing and directorial style runs almost picture perfectly parallel to how methodical both of our characters are. In the movie, we see how this methodical approach by both of the characters leads to them having a mutual respect for each other. And in the end of the movie, I'm left with a mutual respect for everybody involved because of the methodical nature. Some might call it poetic. Ultimately, the hard selling point of this movie is the rivalry. I've dived into it a lot, but to put it into perspective, when I think about rivalries, this is either the first or second thing that comes to my mind when thinking about it in movie terms. And we all know there are a lot of movies about a lot of different kinds of rivalries, but this one just sticks in your head and it's so well done, it's hard to forget. This movie has managed to occupy my mind for a few years, and every time I come back to it, I just love it more and more. With that, I will wrap this video up. I hope you all enjoyed part 1 of the Michael Mann May movie special. I really need to come up with a faster way to say that. I hope you'll all be here 1 week from today to watch part 2 about Collateral. I hope you all are enjoying some upped quality, and I hope to continue to improve over the next few weeks. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Until the next video, follow my Instagram at FWPReviews100 for daily written reviews about the newest movies. With that, this is FWP Reviews signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.